Hearty fraternal greetings and good wishes to all the brothers and the sisters. From objectivity to subjectivity, from subjectivity through contemplation upon the Buddhic light, one reaches the Buddhic plane via formation of strong vital body and through the stimulation of the fire of Kundalini. For this, the only effort is to make sure that one turns inward and develops the subjective mind. With the objective mind, one cannot enter into buddhic plane. As much as objective mind is cultivated through understanding of the objectivity, subjective mind also is to be cultivated through a practice of turning inward and contemplating upon the buddhic light. When one reaches through regular and continuous practice of internalization, transmutations happen to the body cells. And the transmutations result in transformation of the body cells through the emergence of Kundalini fire. Only when the Kundalini fire emerges, there is the entry into the buddhic plane. And until and unless one enters the buddhic plane, one cannot contemplate upon the soul or the I am consciousness. Settling in buddhic plane enables formation of the subtle body, staying within, forming the subtle body, experiencing the golden light through contemplation for long years, the soul is realized. The other name for soul is I am. The first step is to enter into subjectivity. The second step is to enter into the cave of buddhi or cave of heart. Then the third step is contemplating, staying in buddhi upon I am. This is the way suggested by Patanjali and also by Bhagavad Gita to move from the familiar into the unfamiliar. when we move into the buddhic plane, the objectivity disappears. The disappearance of objectivity commences even while you are into the subjective side of the mind. Entering into subjective side of the mind can happen through fiery aspiration. I am just covering what is said so far. Ability to sit within at the threshold of the cave of heart enables reception of the golden light and the related warmth. Turning subjective, invoking the presence of the Master, contemplating upon the golden light of the threshold of the heart. When done for long years, heat is generated in the body. The latent heat in the body cells emerges. The inertia in the body cells is shed. Activity increases. Vitality grows. Taste for inner pursuit emerges. As taste for inner pursuit emerges, non-essential activity in the objectivity drops. Movements are minimized to the extent of only attending to obligations. Pleasure hands drop. Inclination for light food, forms. Inclination for essential speeches develop. Non-essential speeches also drop. Greater time is found for inner contemplations. Outer obligations are not neglected. But unnecessary activity is cut off. With all this, which was explained from yesterday till today morning, one becomes eligible to really enter into the buddhic plane, which is called the sanctorum. entering therein and experiencing the golden light for long years. One receives from within the needed wisdom through impression. The outer scriptures only confirm the inner revelations. Looking out for books, looking out for places would not be found necessary. Staying in and listening, staying in and seeing, they develop. Listening for, seeing for is also developed. Knowledge comes from within. Realms of light open, and there is a great engagement within. There would be as much subjective engagement as there would be objective engagement. Objective engagement is for fulfillment of obligatory karma. What is ordained duty is only attended to. Consequences are not created through actions. Actions become non-consequential. Life becomes sequential. In the sense, through time, there is progressive journey of the soul, and there is no more moving in rounds and rounds and rounds. Circular movements cease. Spiralic movements commence. While time moves in circles, the aspirant moves though circularly but in a spiralic manner. Since actions are only sequential, no further karma is created. Whatever is created in the past is cleared as it approaches. The past karma comes to us as our obligations. These obligations are attended to and cleared, and thus actions tend to be only sequential. Manipulative actions do not take place, since manipulative actions would create consequences. Result-oriented actions also cease. Action is carried out since one is to act. There is neither overaction nor there is underaction. There is no neglect. There is also no excessive identity with the outer. Things get balanced in terms of movements, actions, speeches, and thoughts become regular. All this happens only due to constant, regular sittings and inner contemplations. The affinity with the presence of the Master grows. And one gets encouraged as he listens within, as he sees within, as he experiences the occult sensations. Sensory perceptions are developed to perceive the subtle. It's an engagement. It's an engagement in the world of light, where enormous wisdom visits. And visions happen. There would be light and sound show. There would also be musical tones heard. This is what is called in the Eastern scriptures as Nada Bindu Kala. The engagement in the Buddhic plane is so enormous that one may remain there serving the objectivity. Serving the objectivity is also carried out dispassionately, there is no passion in the sense, attachment to the objectivity. Reaching this plane and being in that plane, experiencing that plane for long years, transformations happen so well that from within the body of flesh and blood, gradually the cells release the needed subtle matter and the subtle body is formed. It is called the body of golden light. Once the body of golden light is formed, one is not conditioned by the body of flesh and blood. Each time contemplations are done, the body of golden light gets stabilized and gets strengthened. Such ones do not experience death. Death can be witnessed. Death is seen as death to the body of flesh and blood. When this body is formed, what is temporary, what is eternal, what is mortal and what is immortal is clearly seen. More and more, immortal things are attended to, less and less mortal things are craved for. This is what, as I said in the morning, is the state of third initiation, where we really walk into the center of our body, and the body also becomes a temple. Until then, body is not a temple. Ability to serve is much better when one is settled in that sanctum sanctorum. Ability to perceive is much better. Ability to sense the surroundings is much better. One can sense the presence of the subtle one. The subtle ones exist even in the same ambience. And when one gains the subtle body, the presence of subtle ones and communications with the subtle ones become possible. That's how from mortal to immortal one moves in. This is what is called moving from mind to buddhi, from manas to buddhi. Yes. Many incarnations one lives in that, serving the surroundings in the objectivity and relating to the higher planes. Thus he joins as a member of the hierarchy. Such ones are called disciples. But then it's not completion of work, as is understood. Moving from the plane of mind to the plane of buddhi enables one to realize the further task of reaching the Atmic plane. As one reaches Atmic plane, one contemplates upon Atmic plane. All this coursing is also given in the book Occult Meditations. It is explained many times when explaining the lessons on Yoga of Patanjali. It is also explained when the commentaries on Bhagavad Gita are given. In this state, one is said to be at the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and he reaches the 6th step of Patanjali Yoga, where one stays in the light of buddhi, in the light of I am, and contemplates thereafter upon I am. When once one tends to contemplate more and more upon I am, staying in buddhi, then another bridge is gradually built. The first bridge is from objectivity via subjectivity into buddhi. That's the first bridge. The second bridge is staying in buddhic plane. One contemplates upon I am. The other name for I am is Atma. Only staying in buddhic plane, contemplation upon Atma is possible, not otherwise. Unless you reach the next floor, you can't reach the floor thereafter. That's why Bhagavad Gita and Patanjali, they lead us from familiar to the unfamiliar. What is familiar for a mundane man is mundane world. From there, they lead us to this subtle, and from subtle to causal, and from causal to beyond. So only when you stay in buddhic plane, you gain the eligibility to contemplate upon I am. You may do so otherwise, but it will not be fruitful. Walking into the light of the soul, you are proximate to the soul. So walking into the light of the soul is seen as an important step. The hierarchy therefore strongly recommends that we move first into the buddhic plane. Moving into buddhic plane does not mean that we do not relate to the plane of mind and into objectivity. It's a matter of permeation into subtle, but not displacement into the subtle. It's permeation. At will, one can get into objectivity, and at will, one turns into subjectivity. This is what is called in Masonry opening the outer temple and moving into the outer temple, opening the inner temple, closing the outer temple. He closes the outer temple and moves into inner temple. Conducts the inner work, and with greater vigor he comes out and does the outer work. Every person who dwells in the buddhic plane alternatingly moves between objectivity and subjectivity. Each time work is done in the objectivity, he once again moves into subjectivity, reinforces himself, and once again comes into objectivity. From this dimension you can see lives of initiates, how they used to enter the society and conduct acts of goodwill, and how they recede from the society and enter into subjectivity. This is how there would be frequency of movements between subjectivity and objectivity. Being in the objective plane, one receives the keys of wisdom from within. It's not strenuous learning of keys from the written books. They are offered from within. All is offered from within for those who contemplate, experiencing the light and its colors, experiencing the sound and its potency, experiencing the musical notes. There would be a lot of rejoicing as there was before. In the objectivity there was another kind of rejoicing. But then, the one who pursues self-realization would not stop there. One would receive many gifts when one is in the Buddhic plane. And these gifts are offered into objectivity by way of service. Healing is gifted. Knowledge is gifted. Ability to help is gifted. Nothing is abused by a true disciple. Abuse would result in fall from the Buddhic plane. Silence becomes a commandment not to reveal except where it is needed. There would not be any aggrandizement of oneself or trying to prove oneself to be one above the other. He tends to be one among the other and conducts the work. For such ones, further contemplations on I am become easier. Otherwise, one is stuck. One is stuck in the Buddhic plane. As I said, staying in Buddhic plane is third initiation. Contemplating upon Atmic plane leads one to fourth, and realization of soul is called the fifth initiation. As one moves in a spiralic fashion, utilizing the knowledge of sound and knowledge of light appropriately, serving the society at large, he tends to be a server in the subtle plane. Not only a server on the objective plane, but also a server in the subjective plane. Just like when he is in the objective, earlier when he was in the objective plane, he was doing subjective contemplations. Even in the subjective plane, while one is engaged in service, he also continues contemplations to build the bridge to Atmic plane. That's how there would be a spiralic movement from the heart into the Atmic plane. It is at that time the power of self is much more realized. The power of soul is will, love and light. Will, love and light are the triple powers of the soul. The more and more he is contemplating upon the Ajna or the brow center, being in the heart, more and more light is revealed, more and more ability to do is bestowed, more and more belonging develops. Belonging to the surrounding life develops. Gradually, one sees the soul in the other. In every form, mundane or super mundane, the basis is seen as the soul. Soul is gradually realized in the surrounding forms. Concurrently, soul is also realized in oneself through experiencing love and expressing love towards the fellow beings. The triple qualities of the soul gradually improve upon in oneself. He does much more effectively acts of service, participates in service not only in the objectivity but also in subjectivity. That is what is seen as great service. When the books refer to great service, it means service in the subjectivity, service in the objectivity. And that happens due to endowing of the three qualities in oneself due to deep contemplation upon I am. The knowledge of I am is gradually gained. The nature of I am is known. And ultimately it is seen as one I am as many. One soul as many souls. One sees no other than oneself in others. The teachings of I am are age-old teachings. Bhagavad Gita is full of I am teachings. To the West, Master Saint Germain gave a series of I am teachings. I am teachings, reading them is one thing, realizing them is another thing. I am teachings, when properly translated into Sanskrit, they are called Atma Bodha. Atma Bodha means I am teachings. Bhagavad Gita is full of I am teachings. Bhagavatam is full of I am teachings. The entire Eastern wisdom is full of teachings of I am and that. Teachings relating to that are called Brahma Bodha or Tattva. Tattva means Tattvam, meaning that is what you are. That I am, and that is all this. So that comes as I am, and I am is first realized. From when you move from below upwards, you contemplating upon I am, you see that I am not only in you, in others. That's where the statement comes, may the light in me be the light before me. That's where the statement comes. There is no other, but only the brother. Statements are available everywhere, but realization has a process. The one whom you see as the other is no other than your brother. Not only the human, you would see the brother in the animal. It is a state where I am is seen everywhere. I am manifest in many ways, in many forms, with a variety of combination of sound potency, color variation, and the consequent formations. Contemplation upon I am is possible only when we kindle the fourth candle, as I was saying in the morning. First candle is the objective mind which we are given. The second, with that we will kindle the second candle called the subjective mind. And then subjective mind in contemplation kindles the vital light. It was explained in the morning. And vibrant vital light, along with subjective light, enflame the Kundalini, and the fourth candle is lit, which is called Buddhi. Thus, 4 candles are the immediate work. Staying in the fourth, conducting the service in the objectivity and in the subjectivity, one stays long years, many incarnations. It is called fourth initiation. Being in the Buddhic plane, contemplating upon the Atmic plane, one lives long years, which may involve some incarnations. Eventually, when he realizes the self, it is called kindling the sixth candle. That's how the sixth center relates to sixth candle. The fourth center relates to fourth candle. In Masonry they speak in terms of lights, 7 lights. In yoga they relate to 7 lotuses. They are not different, they are the same, the path is also the same. As you render more and more service in the subjective and objective planes, you are busy during your sleep hours, you are also busy during your wakeful hours. Such ones are busy like that. When the world is at sleep, they are active in the subjective plane. And when the world is awake, they also participate in the objective plane. Doing so, they gain the 5th candle of great service. Then, to such ones, through looking they can serve. Through speaking they can serve. Through touch they can serve. Through moving into places they can serve the places. Such states happen even before self-realization. But the one who is set upon the path of self-realization, he would not be taken away by service. While service is rendered, contemplations continue. This contemplation, which is called tapas, enables entering into subjective plane, it enables entry into buddhic plane, it enables entry into the atmic plane. After reaching atmic plane, it further enables one to become one with that. I shall now rise and go to my Father in the heaven. Means, I am becoming that. When it is that, it is called Brahman. It is called the state of Tattva. The first 30 pages of poem given by Madame Blavatsky is all Tattva Bodha, meaning teachings of that, relating to that. Most of the teachings relate to Atma Bodha, meaning what is soul and what is the purpose of the soul and what is the equipment of the soul. So like that, in the Sahasrara you meet that or Brahman or Tat. Realization of Sahasrara is called state of that. Such ones are called Brahmajnanis. Yes, they don't speak. They don't speak. Their presence itself is enough. From that, they come down as I am. Then they are jnanis. That as I am conducts in the world. That's how great masters, while they are that, they take to the state of that I am and conduct the work. That work is the plan. Those who reach the state of I am conduct work according to those who are in the state of that I am. The highest grade in the hierarchy are those who are that. From that there is one step down as that I am. From the state of that I am, there is the state of buddhi. From the state of buddhi, there is further descent into the subjective and objective planes. This is how verily that functioning as all this. The hierarchy leads the humanity, and to them the chief syllabus is already there in the name of Patanjali Yoga and Bhagavad Gita. These are the two workbooks, and all wisdom books that come on the planet are only but parts of it. Anything that is said in any wisdom book can be seen in Bhagavad Gita and fits into the eightfold path of yoga given by Patanjali. So the workbooks for self-realization and realization of Brahman are considered to be Bhagavad Gita and Patanjali Yoga Sutras. All those occult books on occultism, they all belong to Buddhic plane mostly. About sound, about color, about clairaudience, clairvoyance, about numbers, about symbols. All that wisdom is Buddhic plane wisdom. When it comes to Upanishads, they lay the path from Atma to Buddhi, from Atma to Brahman. When one is dwelling in the plane of Atma and intending to relate to Brahman, Upanishads are useful. So, Upanishads and Vedanta, they are the final textbooks. The summary of Upanishads is also there in Bhagavad Gita. See, we are in a wild forest of wisdom, and in that wild forest we have to find the way. For a beginner, Vedanta or Upanishads they may give information, which is important. Information is important. But to become all that, there is a specific path. The path is given by the teachers. The teachers constitute right from Kumaras. There are cosmic Kumaras constituting the cosmic hierarchy, and there are solar plane teachers, planetary plane teachers, teachers on our planet. That's a hierarchy. So this hierarchy guides people from the state of mundane to the state of absolute. So in a wild forest of wisdom, how do you guide yourself? The teacher stands as a guide to safely take you through the forest and lead you to the absolute. Therefore, today hierarchy insists that that our immediate step is to take to the Buddhic plane. And for that, taking to Buddhic plane, one has to turn inward and contemplate according to what is said during the last 2.5 days. That is the immediate step. Yes. There are two things in wisdom. There is what is called philosophy, Vedanta. Philosophy is enormous information. There are workbooks. The workbooks are what are given as Bhagavad Gita and Patanjali Yoga. So once you are working through these workbooks, you also concurrently realize the philosophy. The philosophy, when understood, you know what is Advaita, what is Visishta Advaita. Information is one thing. If you have a huge map in your hand, you should also have the path to move. The path is what is given by teachers in the wild forest of wisdom. Therefore, on one side there is study of philosophy, which relates to the teaching of that and the teaching of I am. Teaching of that means Brahma Bodha or Tattva Bodha. Teaching of I am means Atma Bodha. Reaching that is the path. Reaching Atma and thereafter becoming one with that is the path. The path is what is given by the teachers. There are many who can speak the philosophy. If you go to India, your mind gets blasted by the philosophy that people speak. Philosophy bewilders us. It's like encountering a huge forest. How to move therein? The path. There are paths. There is a path. That path is given by the teachers. In India, the two are concurrently at work. If you see the books of Blavatsky, especially Secret Doctrine, the first volume today, earlier it is first, second and third volumes. It's full of philosophy. Full of philosophy. There is philosophy in the books of Bailey and also Path. By that I don't say that Madame Blavatsky did not give the path. It is more philosophy and less of steps from kindergarten. So there are two things. One is philosophy, another is the path. The two have to be taken. One, philosophy enables widening one's comprehension. Philosophy widens one's comprehension. Yoga enables walking through. Knowing a huge city is one thing. How to move therein is another thing. If you get to a very, very big city, and if you do not know how to move, where do you get what? You are bewildered. If you have a path, you know where is what and how to reach there. And what is intended for what in the cosmos. So that's how these two have become important. Philosophy on one side, Vedanta, and yoga on the other side. So these two will ultimately give us a complete picture. But as you walk the path, you also know the philosophy. If you know the philosophy and you do not know how to reach there, you just remain a non-working, ideating entity. Hierarchy believes more in moving in the path and leading people in the path. That's where both are fulfilled. Yes. For example, what is it that is written in treatise on cosmic fire? What is it that is written in secret doctrine? How can you understand unless you adopt to the path? They are very bewildering books today. You seem to understand, but what are you to do with them? How do you relate with them? And how do you realize them? Only through the path. So therefore, there are the path would lead you to realize the philosophy. And towards that, the first step is to get into the Buddhic plane. That is the immediate suggestion of the hierarchy to us. Get into the Buddhic plane and later continue serving this objectivity and continuing even service in subjectivity, move towards the Atmic plane so that on your way you are preparing gardens. You are not neglecting the planes of existence that you walk through. Such is the beauty of the work. And in that work, we realize the entire human temple. The emphasis is only after the fourth candle or fourth light. Once we reach there, we can think of others. In Bhagavad Gita also, I tell people, first realize up to 6th chapter. 6th chapter is Atma Sanyama Yoga, meaning staying in Buddhic plane, contemplating upon Atma. Reach that later, you can think of other chapters. So what is to be done and where are we to reach immediately is important. After reaching there, you can think of the next step. That's how the presentation is in these 2.5 days. And now we have another presentation which we have to, it was announced that it shall be done at 5 o'clock. But to sum up, I thought I would also do this. There is a good work that we contemplated in the name of Paracelsus. To our good luck, we are also entrusted with the responsibility of maintaining a place within the birthplace of Paracelsus. It's a great privilege that World Teacher Trust is entrusted with guarding as a guardian a place within the birthplace of Paracelsus. The moment we are given the place for guarding, within few months the work also came relating to him. The work is Paracelsus magazine. Paracelsus, according to Madame Blavatsky, is the only initiate in Europe in about 300 to 400 years. That's how she writes. He worked for light, he worked for health. We wanted to gather information from the east, west, north and south of the globe. It's a very noble object set, noble target, to collect all traditional practices of healing and give articles therein, give articles as a magazine for the benefit of people. Since our group is working with many languages, we decided to have a 3-language magazine: German, Spanish and English. And a substantial part of our group is engaged in the service of providing articles or even collecting articles, translating them, publishing them, circulating them. It indeed engages many members. Many are engaged either for giving articles or by collecting articles, and above all translating them into 3 languages, publish them and circulate them. The work has started 8 years ago, and it is finding a humble progress. It's a great task. Humble beginnings are made. In that connection, from our group, there is a proposal to make a PowerPoint presentation. So we may kindly take to that and conclude the session before the prayer, and later we can walk thereafter into the energies of MayCall for due initiation by the Master as we turn the night into the next day. So I now request the organizers to do it.